Ah, yes, one of the most famous creatures in all of movie history, Godzilla. Too bad there isn't a whole lot of him in this movie, but then again, it's better than the 98 movie. I say that it's a bad movie, but it's not really, but we'll touch on that as we go along here. Welcome to Time About the Movies. Today we are taking a look at the two films of May 16th, 2014, and we start off, of course, with Godzilla. As the world's most famous movie monster is pitted against malevolent creatures who, bolstered by humanity's scientific arrogance, threaten our very existence. Cast includes Bryan Cranston, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Ken Watanabe, Elizabeth Olsen, Juliette Binoche, Sally Hawkins, and David Strathairn in the cast. And it's amazing to think about where Godzilla was in 2014. I mean, this was the 60th anniversary of the franchise, and yet nobody in America was able to adapt the giant monsters to the big screen well, especially with Roland Emmerich and his 1998 disastrous attempt of a movie that will just keep pretending that never exists. But hey, at this point, yeah, you can pretend that never existed, because yeah, this movie overall is very good. Gareth Edwards, I think, did a pretty good job of bringing this monster to the big screen, and it does work, with a couple of minor flaws that we'll get to here in a little bit here, but it's a perfect example of what makes for great summer escapism entertainment. We could just turn your brain off for a couple of hours, sit back in a movie theater with a bag of popcorn and a soda, a cool air-conditioned movie theater while it's 100 degrees outside, which, by the way, when I saw the movie in the theaters that day, it was actually in the 50s, so that should tell you about how the weather is up here. It can, one May it can be 100 degrees, and then the next May it's less than 50, but you get my point. I thought the story overall was really good. I thought the scientific elements actually did make sense in this. The human characters overall are good. They do serve a purpose to the film and are played very well by these actors. Aaron Taylor-Johnson, I think, commands a lot of the screen in this, as he proves from Kick-Ass that he does give the film his all, and he is one of the stronger actors in this, next, of course, to Ken Watanabe. The rest of the cast does a good job in this, and you're probably wondering why I'm not specifically bringing up Bryan Cranston. Well, we'll save that for a little bit later on, but the monsters in the movie look great and epic, especially the big baddie himself, Godzilla, who just looks so much better than he did in that terrible, terrible movie. And the biggest dilemma of the movie is that, with Godzilla, he really is not in this movie a whole lot. He's only in there for about, he doesn't really make his presence well known until the last, 30 minutes, but unlike other movies where the title character is not in the movie a whole lot, like the Lorax or the Tom and Jerry movie from 1993, the title character plays second banana in his own movie, he does make his presence known in the majority of the film because his showcase appearance in Last Act. Like, you see brief glimpses here and there of the baddie itself, and then you see Godzilla roaring in front of the screen towards the very end of the movie, and it's just kind of like, they got it right. They got it right there. I mean, that's really something where it's just like, yeah, it works to a T. And, again, the human characters are really good in here. We do care about these people in this movie more. You have Aaron Taylor-Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen having good chemistry together, which, of course, they'll later bring the next year to Avengers Age of Ultron, with them playing, what's his name? God, why can't I remember his name in Avengers? Quicksilver, Pietro, and of course Elizabeth Olsen is Wanda Maximoff as well. Yeah, they have better chemistry in this than they did when Matthew Broderick and Maria Pitillo did in the 98 movie, and I'm going to keep comparing it to the 98 movie because seriously, fuck that movie, man. But that does lead into some of the film's flaws, specifically Bryan Cranston. You know, this is a guy that has become one of the most respected actors of his generation, and he's far from terrible in this. He's Bryan Cranston. He's the king of awesome. But what makes me upset about him is that they gave him the most cliched story ever. His wife dies in a radiation leak. His son and him have a mixed relationship. He's considered a nutcase, and the incident happens on his birthday, nonetheless. And what's worse, they kill him off 30 minutes into the movie. He's been all over he was all over the marketing for this movie. He was like the big name. They kept putting in trailers and all that, but they kill him off in the first 30 minutes of the movie. I mean, his character was pretty much every bad cliche thrown into one. I mean, it would have been surprised me if there was a line where he said to his wife, "I'm only 2 days away from retirement," or "We're getting married in 3 days," or even the cheapest boy of them all. The wife looks to him and says, "I'm pregnant." It's just like, let's get as cliche as we can. And yeah, I get it. Godzilla's supposed to be the main star of the movie and all that, but you have Bryan Cranston all over the marketing for this movie, and you barely show him in the film. and you kill him off halfway through the movie. This isn't, not even halfway through, a third of the way through the movie. I mean, this isn't like Drew Barrymore in Scream. I mean, back when that happened in 96, that was completely unexpected, and that was something that was in the beginning of the movie. Like, he's all over the marketing for this movie, and he's barely in it for only 30 minutes. A half an hour, really. I mean, that's not even the cheapest play they do in this movie, too. I am so sick and tired of disaster movies using the idea of, oh, let's put the kids in danger so the audience knows how serious this is. You got 3 monsters attacking the Earth, giant monsters. I think we can already assume that the kids are already in damn danger. And I count it. There's 5 scenes where the kids have to react to the dangers around them. One is early where Cranston's son sees the power plant where his parents are crumbling, which is probably the only scene where the cliche is used okay. Then we have 2 scenes in Hawaii, like one is a young boy who's separated from his parents on an airplane subway card. In the first of four scenes like this. There's another one where a young girl is watching a tsunami getting ready to happen. The 4th is where they show Godzilla in all his glory for the first time and he roars, and they cut back to Johnson's kid watching this stuff on TV, which was only there to tell us, ooh, Aaron Taylor Johnson's son is in danger too. I mean, we get it already. And the last scene is the bus scene on the Golden Gate Bridge, which again is forced, but because the cops are literally telling the bus driver to stay off the bus while the monster is near, and you know what the bus driver's just like, fuck you, I've got a job to do. It's just like, I am so sick and tired of these scenes that take place on the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, we have so many bridge scenes during a big attack, just in general, not just the Golden Gate Bridge. I mean, X-Men 3 did that. Monsters vs. Aliens did that. Final Destination 5. Dark Knight Rises. Spider-Man 2002. The Amazing Spider-Man. Fantastic Four. We get it. Being on a bridge when a colossal event like this is happening is a bad idea. And then they even throw the dog being thrown into the danger. It's just like, granted, it's done only once in the movie, but I'm so sick and tired of these disaster movie tropes. Independence Day, Dante's Peak, Meteor, Sharknado. What's the point? Nothing. Nothing but a cheap plug to tug at our heartstrings because we don't see the puppy die. But then again, you can blame David S. Goyer for that because he was one of the writers. He was one of the uncredited writers on this. The biggest flaw of the movie is the military. They're your typical, something's fucked up, let's blow some shit up type of military, where it's just like, they don't want to think before they decide to do something. It's just like, let's not listen to the 2 scientists who've been following this damn thing for 15 years and just destroy them because clearly nothing will go wrong with that logic. I mean, at the same time, though, the fact that the guy tells the monsters need to fight in order to defeat each other does seem a little forced. It's so bad. I was surprised that there wasn't people in the middle of the city doing this while doing the thing from Robot Chicken while the monsters were attacking, where it's just kind of like, you know, they're destroying all those buildings and the monsters are destroying the buildings, and the people beneath them are just like, hey man, that's not cool. That's too soon. We just had 9/11 happen. And it's just like, yeah, it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, I mean, it really irks me. It goes for those lazy, cheap cliches overall, but to its credit, though, the film overall is enjoyable. I had a good time with it. It was a good example of good summer escapism entertainment. A good story that worked. Human characters we do want to care about. The monster effects are well done. It's a good, fun movie. What I wish we could have gotten more of Godzilla and less of those stupid cliche seeds. I think this really would have been a fantastic film and probably one of the best of the year. But as it is, it's a good example of a good summer escapism movie. Go see it in a cool movie theater when it's hot outside and you have a good time with it. And of course it led to the creation of the MonsterVerse that we're going to get to as we go through the years ahead, with King Kong being brought to the table in 3 years' time, and then these two will eventually meet together after COVID and all that. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. It has a lot of flaws to it, but it's still a very good film regardless. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last film that we have here, and that is Disney's latest sports film starring Jon Hamm, $1 Million Arm.
Wow. This whole alternative family thing looks good on you.
See this, partner? Boom.
We've got a major league tryout.
Are you messing with us?
No, I'm not messing with you. You got a tryout. All right, go ahead. Say it.
Did you kiss Miss Brenda?
No. She kissed me.
Oh! Jimmy's good!
It's really kind of interesting with Disney when it comes to their sports movies. Most of them have been pretty solid. They have very rarely made a really bad sports movie in general. I mean, probably the worst one overall was The Game Plan, but even then, that movie kind of worked because of the charm of Dwayne Johnson and the relationship he has with the daughter and all that. But yeah, they very rarely have made a bad sports movie in general here. Most of them have been some of them have been kind of mediocre, but there's never been a really terrible one. And Million Dollar Arm is definitely one of those ones where it's one of the lesser ones, but it certainly is a lot better than I think people made it out to be. John Hamm plays J.B. Bernstein, who's a sports agent in 2008, finding his business being seriously outplayed by his deep-pocketed competitors. Inspired by reality shows and Indian cricket games on TV, Bernstein gets the bold idea of finding cricket players in India and training them to become pro-baseball players in America. After a long search, Bernstein finds two talented but non-cricket playing youths, Riku Singh and Dinesh Patel. Together, Bernstein takes his prospects to Los Angeles, where they find mastering a new sport in a foreign land is a daunting challenge. As these boys struggle amid an alien culture, Bernstein must find a way to make sure their dreams come true. In doing, Bernstein finds a deeper humanity to his work with growing friendships he never expected to have. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of this movie kind of reminds me of that Brendan Fraser, Albert Brooks movie from back in the 90s, The Scout, except this one's definitely a lot better than that one. Another one from 94, The Air Up There with Kevin Bacon, except those two were straight up comedies. This one's kind of a comedy, but it's mostly a drama in general. And yeah, it does throw the whole idea of the been there, done that type of underdog storyline, but, you know, these are the type of movies that Disney is very good at. They're good at making these type of films about the underdog and making them into rousing movies. I mean, they've done it from the very beginning with Remember the Titans and Miracle. Hell, the Mighty Ducks movies before those films. You know, Glory Road was another great one. The Greatest Game Ever Played. Probably one of the more underrated films. And here's another one that kind of got pushed off to the side when it came out, mostly because it was in the middle of summer, which I don't know why the fuck you would release this in the middle of summer, but it's a really good movie. I did really enjoy it a lot. I thought it was solid. Their hearts were in the right place, and most of them have a lot of entertainment value to them in terms of their sports movies. And this one I think works because of that. It can be formulaic, yes, but it works because you do like the cast overall. John Hamm's really good in this. Lake Bell's a nice love interest here. Alan Arkin has some good funny moments in here. You do get involved with the two kids in here, Suraj Sharma and Madhur Mittal, playing Singh and Patel. Bill Paxton, in one of his last movies before he died, is pretty good in here. He'll have another really good one coming up in a couple weeks' time. But yeah, it works. It's a very good film. Is it predictable? Of course it is. But does it make it bad? No. If you're a good film overall, you can make for a really entertaining film in the process, and I think this film does that and then some. I think it's a well-made film. Good film overall, not one of Disney's best sports movies, but they fairly rarely made a bad one overall. I really enjoyed this one a lot. I do recommend checking out if you haven't seen it. Million Dollar Arm is definitely worth a watch. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies. Next time we meet, Memorial Day weekend comes around, and we have a new X-Men movie that not only is a sequel to X-Men First Class, but also combines the original X-Men together in a film from director Bryan Singer, and that's X-Men Days of Future Past. And then we have Adam Sandler reunited with Drew Barrymore once again in Blended, the romantic comedy that is one of Adam Sandler's better movies, so of course that means it's going to bomb at the box office, which unfortunately it did. But yeah, we'll touch on those two films. That'll be tomorrow here on this channel, so stay tuned for that. But with all of that said, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. Now, with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.